Couple minutes late here, but that's okay. At the close is here. We've got 28 minutes left in today's trading session. It has been more of the same as it was Thursday and Friday of last week. So I've got Joel with me. We got Joel's charts up, ready to go, and we are ready to talk about today's market action. Smash that like button. Let's go to work. All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, Joel, a lot to talk about today. That's why we are running late, because we were so
exactly.
We got so.
I just want to tell our listening audience that these young whippersnappers here, Spencer and Mitch, I mean, they were just tearing up. What is it? The pre-market prep at the close show? Is that what it's called?
I didn't realize they had a name.
We got to, we have the pre-market show.
Yeah.
So we have the pre at the close show. Okay. And I'm telling you, these guys are ripping off some trading ideas here and great looks at the market. I know Mitch is busy, so I don't know if he'll be able to join us. But boy, folks, we got a market. We got a really interesting market going on here. And the reason I say that is because we got some resistance of the greatest resistance of all time. And you guys can see it on my daily chart. We actually got it. We were a little bit above on that on Friday, but your Tuesday high, boom, right there, 43.91 in the quarter. They brought the market all the way back on Friday. They brought it up to 43.84.5. Boom. Where do they take it today? 85.5. There it is, folks. Until we get, I want to be bullish, but I'm telling you, until we take out that level, the path of least resistance in this crazy ass market is lower. So keep an eye on that. We're also talking about trying to find support. I mean, you didn't come in within 60 points of the pre-market low. So, it's hard. And what are you going to lean on? Last week's low, 205 handles away. So resistance is sticking out like a sore thumb. Unfortunately, support, we're going to have to figure out where that is. Crude having a good day, up for 417 at 95.76. I see we went up to 99.10. That must have been when Turkey is getting a little aggressive in the Black Sea. I don't know if you saw that. Gold up 21.80, 1909.40. Silver, that's up 51 cents at 24.52.5. Bitcoin, we could talk about that more. But you got a catalyst. You got a catalyst for Bitcoin with this Swift, man. I'm telling you. God's thinking about that last night. And I'm like, man, I got to get on some Bitcoin, and it's gone now.
Well, no, it's not gone. Let's be clear about that. It's just because it's up 6.5% doesn't mean it's gone. But what about the Bitcoin thing, Joel? Because we were just talking before we came on here about like what would happen if all of a sudden you see a headline that the Russians buy whatever $100 billion with Bitcoin or whatever. First off, I don't think you would see that headline. I think what you would more see before that is a headline that says like, oh, like wallets tied to Russian oligarchs bought or wallets tied to Russian IP addresses bought 100 gajillion, whatever the number is, in Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm still trying to understand the implications of Russia basically being expelled from the global financial community, and what the implications are for crypto, because it's unclear to me what they are. Because last week, when the prospect of the Swift of being banned from the Swift system was that when that first was mentioned, I saw some people that were like, this this means nothing. There are ways around this, and the number one way around this is crypto, right? Is Bitcoin. There are ways around. So these sanctions are a waste because you can just get around it with crypto. Well, now the sanctions happened, and they clearly are not a waste because it's crashing the ruble, the Russian economy as we speak. But it's still unclear to me what the impacts of all of this are on crypto. So big crypto is up today, but I don't even know if you can say, because all of tech is up today. So I don't even know if you can say you can't separate those two. Like,
let's move in with gold too, which is a inflation hedge.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know about all those things, Spencer.
Yeah.
But to me, and I've been bullish bearish or whatever. To me, well, first of all, China's against Bitcoin, right? Because they want everyone to use the yuan, right? But
yeah.
But we don't know where Russia stands on Bitcoin, right?
Russia's a pretty. They like Bitcoin over there.
They like Bitcoin.
Like
I mean, who knows who created Bitcoin? So to me the cat, I don't know about ARK. I don't know about moving with the growth tech. I just know that there's a catalyst, and the catalyst is Swift, and that's just what I'm thinking. What's the Russian bank, central bank called? Does anybody know that? Do they have a name?
Yeah.
What is it called?
I'm Googling it because the Central Bank of Russia. I mean,
is that what it's called?
That's what it's called. The Central Bank of Russia.
Central Bank of Russia. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it, folks. We'll see. I mean, to me, that's what's moving it today. Nothing else. I mean, whatever goal. But anyways, that's my outlook.
Let's talk about solar here, Joel. Solar is ripping today. Solar Edge is your big leader of the bunch.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole sector, you can look at the TAN ETF or whatever you want. Whole sector is higher. I guess all this is doing is accelerating the world's desire to move away from oil, which we rely on Russia for.
Yep.
But Joel, after living through the 2020 election and seeing the reaction that had to the solar market, call me a seller of every single solar rally, because this sector time and time again gets so ahead of itself, and it just gets so ahead of itself. And I can't. Okay, it's a great day. It's a great day. Solar Edge, First Solar, Sunrun. It's a great day. It's a great week for solar, right? If you're in that industry, if you're in that game. But gosh, Joel, I mean, how many times have we seen this before?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, I mean, in looking at the short-term price action, yeah, but to me, this makes sense too. I mean, to me, it makes sense that, if we're going to need to get away from oil, electric cars, solar, I mean, it makes sense to me. If I had to be long it or short it based on the price action today and what's going on, you couldn't get me to short it with any kind of amount of money. And if I was long, I wouldn't be selling it either. I mean, I just, it's turned. I know the charts are ugly. You had the whole election thing where like the whole world's going to go solar.
I know, and that's what I keep thinking about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the Democrats sweep and Biden wins the election. Oh, and all of a sudden that means we're going solar tomorrow. Like, no, that's not at all what happened.
But the market is a forward-looking mechanism.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the TAN ETF went to $125.
I know, and pot went crazy too. But
I know.
It makes sense though. I mean, what's Natty Gas doing? I mean, what's Natty Gas? Is that up today? Nah, that's all right. That's doing okay. I don't know. I'm trying to look. You're trying to put fundamental. Is it Fat Tuesday tomorrow?
It is, Joel.
Really?
I got my punch keys ready.
Well, you already have them?
I'm bringing them in.
Does everyone know what Fat Tuesday is?
I hope so.
I don't know. That's pretty much a Detroit thing, isn't it? Detroit Hamtramck?
No,
Or is
it's
that
not.
a nationwide thing?
Fat Tuesday is not a Detroit thing. Punch keys are a Detroit thing,
Punch keys. That's what I meant to say.
but Fat Tuesday is certainly not. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
heard of them before I moved here. No,
Okay. Sorry, I digressed again.
no, but back to the solar thing, man. There was just a comment I saw from the chat that I wanted to say, and I forget what I don't know what it was now. No, solar's having a great day, and I understand why you wouldn't want to step in front of this, Joel. I get it. But come on, guys. I mean, this is okay. So the headline out of Germany was that Germany wants to go fully green. What, like 20 years? They just moved up the timeline 20 years. Is that? I think that's what the headline was today. Or they want to be carbon neutral by 2030, and the prior goal was like 2050, something like that. So okay, maybe they're moving up the timeline. Sure, maybe that's worth something, but time and time again, you've seen rallies in this sector get sold eventually. So
Emily's saying that a punch key is a Chicago thing.
okay, I'm not gonna fight over the punch key. I don't even know. I didn't even know what a punch key was before I moved here. Okay, so it is what it is. Also, did anyone see 60 Minutes last night? Did anyone see the story about how vulnerable the U.S.'s electric grid is? Because that was
Oh,
scary.
don't tell me
That
this.
was scary.
Don't tell
Anyway,
me this.
I know that's the last thing you wanted to hear.
Don't tell me that. That I've been. You know what? Did they steal that? Were they listening to my conversation with my buddy? Because
Yes,
we
they,
were
yes, they
we were.
stole it.
That's what we were talking about. What did they say on that?
But the bottom line is everything is the U.S. electrical grid is vulnerable, and it's not just vulnerable from cyber attack. It's vulnerable from like physical attacks. I guess is that the right word I use? Physical attack? I don't know.
Because it's
Um,
old.
maybe, but
Yeah. Well, there's an. Oh, so this is the 60 Minutes move then. What the heck?
yeah,
Right?
I mean maybe. Someone in the chat asked. Oh yeah, Ryan asked, "Is there a good green metal index?" Can you be more specific, Ryan? I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. Are you do you mean like lithium? I don't know what that means. Give me some clarity, but I want to answer the question. I
A
also want to
green.
talk about EPAM today, Joel,
Oh,
which is an IT company with a lot of exposure to Russia. And the reason we know they have exposure to Russia is because the company came out and withdrew their quarterly and their fiscal year guidance today. And so the stock is down 46% because the entire business has come into question here.
once again, it's made. I mean, it's logical Monday, right? I mean, if you were trading this thing, wow, what a haircut. I don't know. I mean, but that the war is over, and then this thing goes up. So being short in it, you can be short. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to speak into it technically. I doubt anybody's in this thing.
No,
I
I don't
hope
think
no
so.
one's in
Well,
this thing.
that's not true. I'm in this thing because this thing is in the S&P 500. I know. I learned today. I had never heard of
Really?
it today. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I own this.
Next, how low we get today? We're trading on the lows of this session. What's going on? Is the war over here? I mean, look at this rally we got going on. We're back up at 33.46. Where did you get to? Oh, you got under 200 a day. You got to 198 and a quarter. Man, nothing. Next monthly low is 158.83. Not touching that. 200. I mean, if you want to be a hero here, go ahead. Risk down to the low. I don't know anything about the company.
What else did I want to talk about? I also want to talk about. Oh yeah. So Joel, can you pull up the RSX for me? This is the Russian ETF. There are a few of these bad boys, and this is one of them. The Russian ETF. This is a very interesting situation right now. For this thing, so you can trade RSX. You can trade it till your heart's content if you want. What the RSX is a basket of companies that derive the majority of their revenue from Russia, right? They have to have at least 50% of their revenues related to Russia. If you go look at the RSX and what's inside of it, it's not it's not US listed companies. Well, there are a couple of them, but it's mostly depository shares that are listed that trade in London over in Europe. And then those shares derive their value from the primary market, which in this case is the Moscow Stock Exchange, which is closed today
Huh.
and tomorrow, and who knows how long. So the RSX is trading down today a lot, as it should be, but the value of the fund is not really tied to anything because it's a derivative of a derivative. The primary is over in Russia. You've got the depository shares in London, and then you've got the RSX over in the US. And so there is this chain here, but the first link in the chain is closed. So you have no net asset value, really. There is no like fair value here. So it's traded at $10 right now. That's a guess. This thing could fair value could be dramatically higher or lower, but there's no way to know this until Russia reopens their stock market, whenever that happens. And when it does, it could create a really interesting situation over in like with the RSX. I highly doubt that the U.S. exchanges, the New York Stock Exchange, they're not going to halt trading on the RSX. I don't think they necessarily should. But in the meantime, you have an instrument that's trading and it's deriving its value from nothing right now, nothing, because there's no trading in Russia. So
They're not opening tomorrow.
what is the RSX worth? Nobody knows. The market says $10. That's a shot in the dark. It's a wild situation. Could be worth 20, could be worth 2. I don't know.
They're not opening tomorrow, I heard too.
No, they're not.
No.
So what is this thing? Like we talk all the time about the arbitrage, about like trading the SPY against Apple, because you know that Apple is X% of the SPY, and if Apple is up the X amount, then SPY should be up Y amount, whatever. But this doesn't have that, so it's going to be a really interesting situation. I say if or when, because I obviously have no idea. The Russian stock market opens. It's going to be weird. Anyway, I just want to point out because it's a quirk of ETF land.
Well, I'll look at it just from a strictly risk reward perspective.
Yep.
And you buy it here at 1085, the most you can lose is 1085.
Right.
Right.
The thing is, though, like the net asset value could be like $1. We don't know.
Yeah.
So
And if you short it,
could
and Russia starts to play nice,
yeah, I know.
then you're dead meat. So
yeah, and someone asked about the difference between RSX and RUSL. In terms of holdings, it's very similar. RUSL is leverage, so that adds another wrinkle to the situation. But in terms of the holdings, they are very similar.
News me, Spencer. Give me some news. This market's trading like
I know.
Like it's trading on news here.
Oh gosh. I don't have anything for you, Joel.
You don't? There's some news coming out, some good news.
I'm looking here. I'm going through my
Nothing. What were the imbalances?
Buy side, small, very small. Very small. That was 20. I saw 135 million of the buy side 20 minutes ago. So yeah, I don't know, Joel. I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of weird things happening out there.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about what else was on my list here? Solar. Oh yeah, and oil too, Joel. That's the other thing. Solar is having a great day, but so is oil. It doesn't make sense.
Well, they're talking about restricting supply. So with the oil trade, I mean, these things they're moving up. They're not at the all-time high. There are sellers in here, so there is, except for Chevron. Look at that. The one Warren owns, best in breed. I mean, don't guess. If you have a target in this area, take your target. If you like, if you're not worried about trying to sell into strength, then move your stop up and something to lock it in. It sure doesn't feel like it's going down anytime soon. So that spike, I saw that spike to 99.10. Wow. That, like I said, that's out of it. But it's breaking out to new all-time highs. I know Triple D's been trying to, pick a top. I mean, he hasn't been picking a top. He hasn't been trading them, but he's just been conservative on them. But right now, you can't argue with the price action. Price action's higher. XLE looks like it's breaking out. That's not a new all-time high, above 70. So, don't fall in love with it if you're taking a long here. I mean, don't. I wouldn't be riding it down to 68, but man, that 70's been a big level going back since mid-February.
Yeah. Talking Dave is noting that Lucid is up 8%. Oh, never mind. I was thinking of. I brought that up, but I was confusing Lucid with Ride because Ride had earnings this morning.
What's
And
going on with Ride?
well, they had earnings this morning, and they said they're going to produce 3,000 cars. Uh,
Woohoo!
but
I can do that in my
I was
garage.
confusing that with Lucid for a moment there. So, um, yeah, and the defense trade, the defense contractor trade, they're talking about that in the chat. Raytheon, Lockheed,
Yeah,
NOC, L3. It's still going. It's still
yeah.
going.
Look
So
at you still even. I mean, I know we talked on these, but look at the 4 o'clock pump on those things. You don't even get near that 105 at RTX. I see Palo Alto Networks. That thing's just ripping. I don't know where that's gonna stop. CyberArk, boom, that's up too. Zscaler, they're a little bit of a laggard here. I don't know if there is much in that arena as the others, but
oh, that's
if you
right.
get the laggards, you get the laggards, and then MNDT, that's having a good day too. I mean, and you know what people are not thinking about with this MNDT? Wasn't Microsoft sniffing around in this one?
There was a rumor of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And thank you for the correction, guys. Lucid actually reports earnings tonight. So does Workday. So does Zoom, by the way.
Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
That
Zoom got
cat bounce,
Zoom got the
or is it
1.5.
finally going to rally?
Zoom is very quietly, and I say quiet because no one's paying attention right now, but Zoom has now rallied $20 in the last 3 days.
And it looks like nothing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. It looks like nothing. It looks like it barely
Nothing
moved.
on the chart.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We know there's overhead supply here. This one that I don't know what the report's going to be. But this one, if they got something new, I mean, new problem. I mean, obviously the Zoom's good. They got me paying money to use it. I think it's a great product, but it needs it
we
needs something
we
else.
live in a world where Joel pays for Zoom and CNBC doesn't.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, I'm an upgrade. I need it though. What's going on with Tesla?
It's having an amazing day. It's a green energy play, and green energy is hot
Yeah.
apparently. So it's. I mean, you look at a heat map and it sticks out like
We
a
are
sore.
we are ripping. We are ripping again. 30, 43, 66. 40. What is going on? I mean, this market's acting this market acting like everything's over. Like Putin's gonna be coming to the White House for breakfast tomorrow. Punchkis. He watched those punchkis on Fat Tuesday.
That's definitely it.
Fried dough food. If you guys are asking, it's a fried jelly donut,
It's
basically.
just a
What it is.
donut. Although they don't have them where I'm from. I didn't grow up with the punch key. I didn't know what it was.
All right,
But
let's do a few stocks. We got
oh
five
yeah, yeah.
minutes.
Okay. Someone in the chat when we started here asked about Wells Fargo.
But
Well,
these banks,
Wells
they're
Fargo.
not. I mean, all of a sudden, inflation is not a problem. I don't know if I'm going to go down that route. I mean, just technically, got overdone in 60, had a pullback. I think you got your jobs number. I don't think this whole war thing automatically says, okay, the Fed's not raising. And in fact, the situation could be increasing inflation with crude and with some of these commodities. So I wasn't buying that the Fed's going to raise too much and we're going to go into recession. And I'm also not buying the fact that the Fed's still not going to do anything with interest rates. We're still at historically low rates. So that's what I give you. RAG, this is the third time I hope you're doing well. Your views on the VIX? No, I don't. All I know is that if you're into VIX, you want chaos. You want these kind of markets trading just like this. So if the average daily ranges start coming down in any which way, then you better get the hell out, because that thing will come right in on you. I have my own personal VIX, and that's the S&P 500 futures. And right now, I mean, this is the range, including the overnight sessions, 134 handles, 135 handles. So right now, the market is not saying it wants to calm down yet.
Oh, and I also just wanted to briefly show the crypto heat map out there. Just green everywhere. Green
Oh,
where
yeah. What
green
about Doggy Coin?
Yeah, 4.5% today, Joel. It's up
Woohoo! What's it up at 13 cents or something?
almost.
Okay.
Give it a few hours, and we'll be at 13 cents.
Catalyst. Now they reopen. They put Russia back on Swift, and I don't know. You're gonna have a Swift move down.
Trent, I can't tell. Trent, I can't tell if this is a joke or not. I think it's a joke, but I'm not. I can't tell if he's being serious.
What do you say?
Goldman anticipates 11 rate hikes into 2023.
He's joking.
Is he? I can't. That's not quite clear to me. That could have been a serious comment for all I know. All right, we got
43.70 50, 43.71. This market is absolutely bonkers. Look at this. Going back, trying to be unchanged on the day. I don't know. I feel like there's good news out there somewhere. I don't know where it's at, where it's gonna be on the tape or whatever. But I don't know. Impressive rally here in the last hour. Coming up to my area, folks. It better not gap over that overnight, or I'm not going to.
Okay, right. So sorry, I missed this earlier. Someone asked about AT&T. Sorry, yeah. YMAR. You asked about YMAR wants to start playing AT&T here.
Got to get through 24. You're at 23.71. Gap down day. If it gets above 24, holds 24, probably go to 24.50. They still pay. It's still a decent dividend. Find out when it goes X again, because it's still a decent yield, right? It's not what it was before, but I'm sure you still people doing the dividend capture. But until it could stabilize over 24. But it's just been a peg.
Trent A says that was not a joke about the Goldman seeing 11 rate hikes by 2023. All right, I see. That's what I was saying. It could have been real. Trent saying it was real.
Oh, through 20. I don't know where they come up with this stuff.
Me neither. I don't know either. It's confusing. Anyway, there's our closing bell. Holy moly, we ended up closing just barely red in the S&P. The NASDAQ is green. The Russell is green. The Dow is barely red. But I mean, overall, in terms of the stock market, I mean, it's a pretty
couldn't ask anything more for it, in my opinion. Under the circumstances,
it's an encouraging day. When you account for the fact that you got off to, you started behind the 8 ball because you opened lower, we basically went up, not all day, but most of the day. So call it an up day. A moral up day, like a moral victory. All right, that'll be a wrap for At the Close today. We'll be back tomorrow morning for pre-market prep. Everyone, smash that like button. Join Benzinga on YouTube. Check out Benzinga Pro, pro.benzinga.com. Free 2-week trial. Link to a 25% off discount in the description. Check it out there. Catch you guys tomorrow. Money Mitch will be live in a half hour. Stay tuned for that.